We now return to Optimus Prime.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Jason, also known as Optimus Prime. And today, I'd like to talk to you about this guy here. It's not a review for Masterpiece 44 MP44 Optimus Prime, but more about this character in general and what it means to me. Kind of cover some of my experience here with Optimus Prime. I'm an older guy, and I grew up late 70s, 80s, and a portion of that was actually spent in Japan, Okinawa to be more specific. And when I was there was a toy line that was out. It was called Diaclone. And they had a truck and a trailer called Convoy. Those of you that are fans of Optimus Prime and Transformers probably already know the story about how that toy line had a character essentially called Convoy that was utilized by Hasbro here in the States to be Optimus Prime. But that's where my love started for Transformers, started with the Diaclone line when I was there in Okinawa. Came to the States and had the toy line already kind of in my own hands. I didn't actually own Convoy. I had seen him. And then shortly after getting back from Okinawa, they had the Transformers TV show start, along with a comic book, and I saw the Diaclone toys repackaged as Transformers. For me, when I would watch the cartoon, I was coming home from school, and that's where I would be able to sit down and watch my shows. This particular character was like a father figure for the rest of the Transformers, at least on the side for the Autobots. Megatron was like an example of what a bad father would possibly be like. Um, so seeing the different things that Optimus would do right here, and whenever he had to face adversity, how he took it, how he dealt with bullies, how he dealt with Megatron, Decepticons, and just the different things that occurred in episodes. It was kind of like having another father figure, another character to look up to, even though he's a robot, from another planet. You saw how he cared about the other characters that were in the show. Out comes the movie. And with the movie, we see Optimus show up, and he's going to go ahead and take care of things no matter the cost to himself. We get this lovely music that's playing that I'm not playing here. I go to the movies, right? My dad's like, let's go see Transformers the movie. And I'm like, yeah, let's go see that. And it comes out August 8th of 1986. And I go ready. I'm sitting there in the theater, excited. And we know what happens here. He has a showdown with Megatron. There's this big looming threat that's occurring in the background while this is going on with Unicron. And it's one of the things that Optimus Prime didn't get to face, which was Unicron, a big threat. Looking back on the movie, I look at it as kind of like a missed opportunity, and it may be in a future video I would discuss how I would do things differently. Because ultimately, with me collecting these, I wanted to, because I have a background in animation, wanted to create my own variation of that using kind of like stop motion animation and some other techniques to go ahead and do that. But I'll talk about that in a future video. What I want to talk about here with Optimus Prime is, we witnessed what happens to him here back in the 80s, and it was kind of a traumatic thing to deal with because it was a loss of, what a lot of us kids growing up saw as like a father figure. And then season 3 is a lot of trying to figure out what to do without your father being around anymore. A lot of people weren't happy with Hot Rod here taking that place and becoming Rodimus Prime. Um, as a teenager and then adult, I can understand what Hot Rod was going through. Because, we all have those expectations of trying to live up to what our parents are doing and try to, meet those ideals that we chase as children. Because of what this character meant to me, I started collecting Optimus Prime figures. And there's been quite a few different variations of his character. I mean, they have him as, for instance, as like a G.I. Joe vehicle. They've had him as, the traditional truck. They have had him, instead of being a flat nose truck, be a different type. Then we had in, I believe it was 2008, that we got the live action movie for Transformers. And for a time, for like at least me, it felt like Transformers was dormant. And I know a lot of people don't care to hear about, Michael Bay's versions of the Transformers because it's quite a departure from what we have here. And to a lot of us, Generation 1 was the best era for Transformers. It's what we grew up with. The 2008 movie for Transformers was more of a rebirth, and it got a lot of excitement. It showed that Transformers is a brand to be reckoned with, and it came back full force. We had more masterpiece figures being made going forward from that one, because the original one that I got was MPO1, and I think that came out in 2001. Could be 2000. It was around that era. And I still have it. It's scratched up a bit. It's been through some things. But I still have it. It holds up really well. It just needs a touch of paint to fix up some of that. But just looking at the different like eras and options that are available for Optimus Prime, it's still a character that I love and will always be something special to me. It's like I had said in my previous video with Omega Supreme, right? Omega Supreme is like one of my holy grail characters. Getting a masterpiece figure of him, you know, very happy with that. Um, this guy here, he's had 3 versions of him, and each one is very different, although very familiar. And they've even done a Diaclone reboot version, and they've done something different, but still recognizable that it's Optimus Prime. And as you can see, even though we lost Prime and he's passing the Matrix on, we do get something great with what he had left here, despite them making, in hindsight, it was a terrible, terrible decision to go ahead and kill him off, only to have to bring him back because of the backlash that was received during that time in the 80s. But we continue to get great Optimus Prime figures, and I know that a lot of people are kind of tired of seeing Optimus Prime come out time after time after time, and we would like to get a lot of these other characters made. But for me, there's nothing wrong with another good Optimus Prime figure. As you can see with this one, there's a lot of great things with this figure, from how he's built, the transformation. He looks great in both modes, but it's still not perfect. To me, this one so far is the closest that we've gotten to getting it as close to tune accurate as possible. But it doesn't stop me from getting the other ones that aren't. I'll show that here, so you can take a look and see if there's anyone that you see here that you would like me to do a review of. Go and put it in the comments below, and I'll see about doing that. But this video is kind of a lead into what I'm going to be doing here. I'm thinking this week is to go ahead and get some reviews of some of these Prime figures. And if you happen to have any that you would like me to go ahead and do, again, put that in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when these videos go up, and that way you won't miss any. If you know of anybody else that's a fan of Prime, go ahead and share this video to them. Otherwise, I appreciate you taking the time to take a look at this video. Let me know what your favorite characters are and what you would like to see from them as well. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.